15-minute Hasan video? Oh, we never finished watching that. Does he? He's so boring.
I want
to
nothing to
listen
do with this weird.
What is he?
Which he says is worse than Adolf Hitler. Instead, Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Lenin was awesome. What the? What's his problem? This guy. Oh God, the limits of Hasan derangement syndrome. I'm shocked that they have not entertained this in the debate.
He's become Trump. Like actually Trump. Hasan derangement syndrome.
Up until this moment, because it creates incredible dunks like this. Because these guys unironically think I am like worse than Hitler. Destiny has literally said he would rather vote for Hitler, and even Donald Trump, which he says is worse than Adolf Hitler, instead of someone like myself.
I view Jeffrey Epstein.
I said that over Hasan. I feel like when I made the Hitler comment, I mean, obviously, not that context matters because he doesn't believe in anything and these people have no values. But I think the question was more, it was a weird question because they're like, who would you rather vote in? Was it between Hasan and Hitler? And then the next question was, that I had was like, are we assuming that like the political margins exist or that this person can enact any policy they want or whatever? Because that would change your answer significantly. And then I think I made the comment, something along the lines of like, I'd rather Hitler be elected than Trump or somebody because I don't think the country is like super Nazi anti-Semitic. So if Hitler was elected as president, I don't think he'd get anything done because somebody would go with his agenda or something like that. But this was the, I don't remember when we did this. This was a long time ago.
As a better leader than Hasan Piker. No, it's on you. You know yourself. You know yourself. You know you did.
We all think he would be better than a Trump.
Oh, I keep forgetting why I don't watch this because I haven't seen this back and forth yet. Fuck.
Destroys the country. It'd be a byproduct of his stupidity and narcissism with Hasan. It would be ideological by design. He supports foreign.
Oh, at least he brings it up. Nice.
He said you're worse than Trump. Yeah, Destiny has said that. Hasan or Trump, who are you voting for if you had to pick? Trump is at least some vague notion of supporting America, however misguided it is. If he destroys the country, it'd be a byproduct of his stupidity and narcissism with Hasan. It would be ideological by design. He supports foreign terrorist groups despite despises U.S. allies, supports historical revisionism and put U.S. adversaries in a better light, has admitted that he would ban opposing political parties in the United States and would lock his enemies forever in re-education camps if they didn't agree with his political ideology.
That's also true.
All of these people, if you were to ask them, like, wouldn't you put some of the fascists in re-education camps, would say yes at this.
What? That's his defense? What? What are the U.S. re-education camps? What does that mean? Also, I love how much he hides behind little weasel words. Wouldn't you put some, who? Of the fascists? Who are fascists to you? To him, it's every liberal, by the way.
At this point, by the way. What is this? Alleged pedophile Destiny says he's jealous of Hasan Piker.
Alleged pedophile Destiny, yes. Saying he's going to board a flotilla to Cuba. And a lot of you guys are saying there's no shot that he does that. He absolutely will do that. Flotillas are like the best. They're like the best pointless PR shit that you can ever do. That's probably the most Turkish thing he's ever done. Because flotillas love to go from Turkey to Israel to start some.
True.
What you do is you call yourself a humanitarian aid flotilla. Half your ships or all of them are empty. You might have supplies in a single boat.
True.
And then all of you are like media trained and press ready. You're live streaming and broadcasting. You know that what you're doing is probably. I'm surprised he's watching, I guess because he brought up that Twitter thing, a full clip of me explaining this rather than like a 7-second clip from the Destiny versus Destiny TikTok account. Legal or is going to get intercepted. It's basically like the grown up version of when Lauren Southern was with.
Yeah, far superior is my method, which is watching Hasan Piker clips while playing Arc Raiders and Malding. Also, did you guys notice he did a.
Because this is the. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. As opposed to Hasan, who's watching me play Arc Raiders.
Dog whistle at the behest of Israel there when he was like, Turkish people love going on flotillas to Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened the last time that took place? Israel slaughtered like 10 humanitarian activists. He's such a Israel.
You guys ever see the video for this? And you ever see how it's presented? Fuck. Do I have this saved in my notes somewhere? I'm not going to be able to find it. This is a peaceful flotilla of peace-loving people who were on their way to the Gaza Strip as a sign of peace. And then Israel snuck up on them in the middle of the night and started attacking all these peaceful people. Fuck. Is this going to be a good video? They had stun grenades? Wait, is this true? Holy shit, wait. I haven't seen footage from this angle before. And this is 15 years old, but it's also by the IDF, so who knows? Fuck, where's the night vision one? Give me the night vision one! Oh shit. Wait. Rex IDF videos. Where they throw one of the dudes, I think, don't they throw one of the guys overboard as soon as he lands? These motherfuckers came ready to fight. The flotilla people. God damn it. Somebody find it in my notes somewhere. But anyway, there was a group of people, they're looking to fight and stir shit up or whatever. These humanitarian things are always like a big virtue signal. They say that they're floating there because they're trying to deliver humanitarian aid to the people, but half the ships will be empty or all of them will be empty, and it's just retarded as fuck. Or, I mean, you could argue it's not retarded, I guess, if you think it's bringing attention to the issue, but I just don't like it when you're lying about everything you're doing. I feel like it's not good. But
writer. It is crazy. He's also still pining for Lauren Southern. Unsure what he's attempting to say because you're Turkish, huh? He knows how to.
That doesn't even make sense. In the context of that clip, I just compared something stupid Hasan is doing to something stupid that Lauren Southern did. How is that pining for Lauren Southern? Okay. Here's the video. Wait, is it this one? Oh, it is. A minute 22. It was a short video. So they try to get the they try to get these little rope things onto the deck, but I think they cut the first one. They managed to get the second one, and then all these guys are waiting with, I think it's chairs and pipes to fight with them. I think they managed to throw either the first one or one of them overboard. Peaceful protesters, by the way. They're ready to go. Kings. I think one of the IDF soldiers got shot, but I think the guns were either tossed overboard or never recovered for other reason, or maybe it was all made up. Maybe it was all fake from the IDF. Who knows? Because everything that comes from them is fake. So. Oh, this was a guy getting thrown overboard. That's not funny. You could die. It's not good. Sorry. Or maybe he's not being thrown into the ocean. Maybe he's maybe he landed in that little boat and he's safe. Jesus. It's just funny though, because like when they talk about it, this is what Hasan was just referencing. They're like, they killed 10 peaceful protesters or whatever. Like, it's just like, okay, bro.
Needle you? Needle me? Mother... His hatred for his derangement, his Hasan derangement syndrome is so maxed out that it has caused literal people in his own orbit, people in his own sphere of influence to go, yeah, you're out of your mind, man. You're actually being a little weird about this.
Identity Europa or whatever in the little tugboat.
Yeah, comparing humanitarian aid flotillas to what this girl, this white nationalist, he like literally tried to, which was to intercept refugees to.
I'm comparing you disfavorably, both though. I'm not. Wait, what? Identity Europa or whatever in the little tugboat.
Influence to go, yeah, you're out of your mind, man. You're actually being a little weird about this.
Identity Europa or whatever in the little tugboat.
Yeah, comparing humanitarian aid flotillas to what this girl, this white nationalist, he like literally tried to, which was to intercept refugees to kill them.
What? Don't make me defend the fucking cringy white nationalist movements of fucking Europe that are all cringe. But the goal was to turn back the refugee ships at its strongest, right? I don't know if they ever thought they were going to be able to do it, but it was to make them go back, send these refugees, not intercept the ships and kill the people. They're in like little, bro, what?
Refugees that were trying to get to Europe to basically drop their boats, causing them to die. Many of those ships had children in them, for the record. Comparing that to the exact opposite is, of course, once again, demonstrating that his politics are so hollow.
With the little flare things or whatever. That's basically, oh my God. It's so many lies. Holy shit. The grown-up version of that. Like, oh, we're gonna get a flotilla that doesn't have any real humanitarian supplies in it, knowing we're never gonna reach this place.
Also, he's just making up the fact that there's no humanitarian supplies in it.
We know that we're violating some naval blockade or some naval thing.
I don't even
know if, I'm pretty sure you can just sail to Cuba as well. Like, as long as you don't come from the United States, and if you do, it probably doesn't matter. Is there an actual fucking Navy blockade? Are there ships here that are ready to blow you up if they see you sailing from the U.S. to Cuba? I don't know. I've never heard of it. Maybe there is, and I just don't know about it. But
more specific with them wanting to supremacists.
Well, maybe there might be something different now that Trump mobilized shit in the Caribbean or whatever for Venezuela or whatever. Maybe now there might be some weird stuff. Maybe.
Just wanted to and suck every Nazi, for the record. Nick Fuentes, Sam Hyde possibly at some level, because they did collaborate, and definitely Lauren Southern.
True.
You despise him at a personal level. He lets it completely...
He's just mad 'cause I'm calling out for fucking children at that brothel when he was making the bro tip videos on how to rape girls after drugging them at parties at frats in college. He's just mad that he got called out for that, but that's okay, buddy.
Warp his political ideology and taints all his... You mean he despises me at a personal level, right? Because like I think his worldview is disgusting. I think his
What is my worldview? Like pedophilia and hate Hasan. All Destiny does is pedophile and hate Hasan, I guess.
I think the way he operates is disgusting in general. Like I think he's a freakish little perv.
The way that I operate, what does that even mean? I like how it's always just these vague. This is what I mean. No more they thems. No more vague shit. Give examples. What are we talking about?
But if he was like a normal liberal who didn't spend every waking moment trying to like talk about how I should be killed by his cult, like sex cult fans or whatever the fuck.
Where it's like so many personal things. Holy shit.
It would be, I wouldn't give it. right? He also doesn't comprehend
Every waking moment we're planning in DGG how to kill Hasan. Every moment of our lives is dedicated to this. True.
like a big component of this flotilla is not even just bringing in humanitarian aid, which of course exists in the flotilla, but it's beyond that. It's actually to bring awareness of the blockade.
Oh, because nobody knows about Cuba. Thank you, Omi. Yes, thank you. Cuba? I thought that was up in the Arctic. I didn't know that. Thank you, bro.
That is also taking place. Like the activism there is twofold. Not only are you bringing in much needed humanitarian supplies, but you're also showcasing the everyday existence of Cubans. It's like the PR and the visibility is a big component of this.
The everyday existence of Cubans is floating on a ship. Why not go to Cuba and do some content, little bro? Tons of people do. And then once we get intercepted, we can complain that it's a human rights violation, repeat ad infinitum. And then if you're really, really lucky, someone on your boat will get shot by some kind of Navy, U.S. Coast Guard or something like that.
Why would that be lucky?
That, and you have a huge media attention for you.
Wait, was a right-wing woman trying to actually kill refugees? Yeah, this is back in the day. Identity Europa is a neo-Nazi group. And Lauren Southern, this white nationalist YouTuber that Destiny has,
He's so obsessed with where he thinks my dick is going. He's so obsessed with me on a personal level. Maybe he's gay. Would be the first time.
Was a part of that, and she was throwing up flares at like refugee boats. They were shooting flares at a refugee boat. Bro, when you say stuff like this, I can't begin to explain how disgusting of a refugee boat. Bro,
if you let D hit, you wouldn't have this issue. Not every Nazi, if you let him suck you, you wouldn't have this issue, bro. Let D hit and you won't have these I don't know what this hit Hasan, like fuck him, or I don't even know what this is.
Say stuff like this. Like when you say stuff like this, I can't begin to explain how disgusting of a repulsive freak you are for saying dumb like that. Let him hit, bro. Let him hit. Like I understand that you're trying to make a joke about Destiny being a creepy little pervert.
How can you get mad at your audience for making jokes like that when you're constantly obsessed with my cock? Like, I don't understand how you can get no shit they're going to make comments like that when you're constantly talking about every place you fantasize about my dick going. I don't understand why he is so surprised. What do you think's going to happen?
But it's gross. Fallen H3 fans.
What the fucking virtue signal? What?
Shit too, and I hate them. Yeah, I despise that shit. I want nothing to do with this weird freak who is literally.
Why not either not talk about me at all? You're obsessed, Hasan. You do. You know a lot of lore about me. It's very fucking weird. Or you can just engage with my political points instead of being obsessed with my cock all the time, maybe.
A predator. His entire worldview is repulsive to me. He's a bad person. He's a bad father. I mean, objectively a bad father. His son is now a neo-Nazi.
True.
And it's directly a consequence of like him not paying him any attention whatsoever.
True.
He's just a bad person in general. He is an
run
egomaniacal
up,
loser. And the reality,
bring up my Kiwi farm so you can do some more psychoanalysis if you want.
the matter is, if his politics weren't dog shit, and if he wasn't like a weird sociopath who constantly uses and abuses people.
True. So, yep, that's true.
And has engaged in a litany of possible sex crimes.
Okay, true. Okay. Anything else we got here?
Procured sea salmon shit. I wouldn't have any issue with this person at all. If he was just like a regular
tax fraud. I'm surprised he doesn't bring up my expired license plates for 7 years or whatever in my car. That's technically a misdemeanor crime.
as lib.
And this one I've admitted to on stream.
Why the f would I ever bring him up? Yeah, if he has a child. He has no redeemable quality. He was just like a regular ass lib. Why the f would I ever bring him up?
So I have to bring him up because he's a sex criminal, or I don't even know what the point of that was.
Yeah, if he has a child. He has no redeemable qualities. He's just a decent debater, and for a lot of these like weird
decent debater. Oh, it hurts him so much to say that.
Freaks on the internet, that's all that matters for them because they see it as blood sports. It's a holdover from the neo-Nazi back and forth like blood sports community back in the day, which Destiny would debate all the time, and he basically became their god because he defeated all of these other dumbasses because they're all very stupid Nazis.
I am the best debater of my size in the world. That's true. I am. Stay mad, okay? I'll accept any challenge from any person, at least of my platform or larger, on any platform.
It wasn't like an impressive feat at all because they were all incredibly stupid. And
you were losing debates to Charlie Kirk on stage in 2016. Charlie was like 12 years old. You would have killed yourself trying to come up in the era of Twitch that I can. You can't even handle LSF today. You can't even handle dual streaming on YouTube, and you're pretending like you could have survived in that environment. Oh my God.
And then he basically took on all of their audience and became their champion. And
and then this is why I understand. Because my whole audience were just the neo-Nazis of old, but they're still neo-Nazis, even though I beat their neo-Nazis as a liberal and then took that audience, but they're all secret Nazis. And, well, I guess because I'm a secret Nazi too.
And in the process, like the community's interest in blood sports never really went away. And now every single day that goes by, he will every now and then debate another person. Sometimes if he loses to a person that is more knowledgeable than them, more knowledgeable than him, he will sick his audience on them forever.
This is Hasan behavior, by the way. I don't even have an audience and can do this. I wish I did sometimes. No, I'm glad I don't. But like, this is what the snarky left people do. The idea of like sicking audiences onto people forever. You can tell just by the way that he talks about me, the amount of lore that he's invested in me for.
And they will just like engage in a cyber stalking operation where they just like
This is what his audience does.
try to smear that person over and over again, myself.
This is what his audience does. Like, I can see, we can go and find fucking Hutch's Twitter, and you can see them arguing with anti-fans of mine every single day. Like, they're in Pisco's chat, they're in Hutch's chat, they're in the Live and Learn chat, they're in all of these Discords. Like, you can watch them all move. Like, it's so fucking obvious. Like, what is the equivalent from the DGG side?
Included. Michael from Pennsylvania is another great example. He's a skilled orator exclusive.
Michael? Wait, Mike from here? Wait, what about it?
On them forever. And they will just like engage in a cyber stalking operation where they just like try to smear that person over and over again, myself included. Michael from Pennsylvania is another great example.
I don't think we care about Mike from PA. We make fun of him every now and then when he pops up, especially when he's attacking us. But what do we talk about from Mike from PA constantly? If he goes hard, or if he brings me up, every now and then we'll run through his couch punching scenario because it's funny. But he's the one who wants to fight me online, but then never wants to have a conversation. Like, I'd have no problem debating him if you wanted to.
He's a skilled orator exclusively because he is very confident, very, very confident. But obviously when he...
What is this fucking... This is the craziest fucking cope. Holy shit.
He met his match, someone who is far superior in intellect and far more knowledgeable than him, like Norm Finkelstein. He got ritualistically humiliated on the timeline.
True. And now he's going to show Norm Finkelstein dominating me through some factual argument.
Mr. Bennell, don't change the subject.
How close has 242 gotten to the Palestinian peace?
You have no idea what you're talking about. It's just so embarrassing. At least have some humility. Between us, we've read maybe 10,000 books on the topic, and you've read 2 Wikipedia entries, and you start talking about Chapter 6. Do you know what Chapter 7 is?
Flew too close to the sun, and he hasn't really recovered since then. And he is
Got me, I guess. Okay. By the way, what have we learned here? Credential citing is always a sign of weakness, especially if you're losing an argument.
still very much pro-Israel. He just takes the worst positions possible. He's basically like the loyalists, like the unionists in the north of Ireland, simply assuming
the Irish relations because of the pro-Pally positions they have. Ugh.
the wrong side of every political equation.
Every single one, optimally, yes.
Why do you still cover this guy? He's more irrelevant than ever. I don't get the point of highlighting him as some important all-controlling figure. He still has a pretty reliable network of cyber stalkers.
Who? Unless maybe he's including Dan.
And the only reason why his influence is actually fallen apart is due to his own actions, like harming his own community members and harming his own content creators that have come out of his own community. And now they're all eating his ass alive. So every now and then,
all of them are like you, people who came out of my community,
and harming his own content creators that have come out of his own community. And now they're all eating his ass alive. So every now and then I want to prop up the people who are doing that, you know? But a lot of the anti-Hasan...
Oh, what, like Gisticle? The guy who used to shit on you constantly, but is now trying to... It's so funny that he outwardly admits this too. Yeah, I will prop up people that I think are fighting against Destiny, even if they're neo-Nazis, which he does, by the way.
Like a lot of the Hasan derangement syndrome, he is at the heart.
Why is he even covering you? You were traveling for all drama, so it's not like you have been hitting him that hard compared to Hutch, because everything has to tie back to me. And Hasan has had a lot of success in trying to tie people back to me. Like I said, I think this is why I call Ethan a pedophile all the time, who fucks his kids or whatever. It's because Ethan gave in because he's a spineless fucking hack to this type of attack where he's like, no, I'm not like Destiny. Destiny doesn't get me talking about. I seriously think me and Ethan have traded 2 messages. I think I've gotten 1 message from Ethan in my entire lifetime. And it was that Twitter convo. It was 2 messages back and forth about the, I don't even remember. This is right after the Israel war thing. But he's like, Hasan is convinced, or maybe he's not actually convinced. Maybe he just knows that this is a good tactic. That if you try to rope people in with me enough, eventually you can get them to start seeing the same hallucinations that Hasan sees. Yeah, so that's, yeah. Because, fuck, there was some drama that came up with Hasan. Fuck, I wish I could remember what this was. I feel like his community, or he might have tried to blame me for it, but I was traveling when it broke. I didn't cover any of it initially. And he was trying to, I think he was trying to pin it on me. I'm trying to remember what the drama was though. It was a couple months ago. Was it the dog thing? Oh, it might have been the shot caller thing. Oh, fuck.
He has no morals, no principles, no values. He supports the opposite of whatever he thinks you support, pure spite-based
True.
politics. Yeah, 100%.
There's more stuff posted online that substantiates all of my beliefs, little bro.
And while he is utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, the reality of the matter is he still very much has a bunch of these edgelord centrist content creators who do a steady flow of Hasan content because they basically use all the talking points that they create in his subreddit. So he has a fairly sophisticated smearing and outrage manufacturing operation that transcends far beyond his own personal growth and his own personal clout. Many of those guys don't want to do work, and they've realized that making Hasan derangement syndrome style commentary is going to secure them at least like 200,000 likes, or I mean 200,000 views on YouTube.
Is he referring to? Is this supposed to be an attack at Hutch here or Lonerbox or?
And it's the easiest place to go to is like the subreddits that he occupies. The subreddits, his community brigades aggressively. You're everything he thought he could be.
What subreddit? There's the Destiny subreddit, and then my fan base has a presence on LSF, but every large streamer's fan base has a presence there. So, as opposed to lefty, tanky child rapist types like Hasan, where they own like fucking half of Reddit, like Foul Moy, every fucking politics related subreddit, every economics related subreddit. Like I feel like so many different subreddits on. Is it FOMO? I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. Subreddit. There's so many huge. The subreddit drama, a lot of the meta subs, like all of these are ran by super far lefty, tanky types.
I'll never forgive you for being that. Yes. Overlap with Nazis too. Very liberal, Asmonfold audience. Yeah. They have no base values at all,
FOMO.
which is precisely the reason why they will cooperate with anyone and everyone. Is the base
like what? Like
they have. You're everything he thought he could be, and I'll never forgive you for being that. Yes. Overlap with Nazis too. Very liberal, Asmonfold audience. Yeah. They have no base values at all, which is precisely the reason why they will cooperate with anyone and everyone.
Cooperate with anyone and everyone. Like, I'm banned from Twitch. I'm demonetized on YouTube. I had like 7 accounts banned on X. Hasan has never been banned meaningfully from any platform in his life. And he had preferential treatment from Amazon and Bezos for his super elite Twitch contract. It was not a standard one, not even a standard partner one. Like, he gets cooperation from the Chinese government to fund his fucking adventures overseas to do propaganda. I know he got paid a very pretty penny for his Qatar trip. He'll never publish that. But okay, bro. Yeah, I guess.
His debate style is to come at you with all the stats and facts is easily defeated by not using any facts or stats. Just hit him with a nah, bro. You're lying. Dude sucks. Wait, what? He doesn't actually approach the subject matter with like a full assessment of all the facts. He just cherry picks data points and then mass produces them.
Like, it's so much cope. It's like cope after cope after cope after cope after cope after cope. Like, tear into some then. Like, notice how when he brought up that whole 10 peaceful people or the 10 protesters that got killed by the IDF assassinated, and I said, well, I think that's a lie. And I can show you a video of the IDF boarding that ship and the people on that boat that were attacking the IDF as they were coming on and throwing them fucking overboard and shit. Notice how, like, that's a factual claim that I can make to counter the single factual claim that you made here. I can't show that I don't like children or fucking kids like you do. I don't know how I would demonstrate that I don't enjoy that. But I mean, like, what else am I can't even counter anything else here. It's all just like random personal attacks. So a 15-minute video that he decided to upload. This is a worthy upload. Or maybe this isn't his channel. Maybe it's another channel. I don't know.
Galloping. He goes to Wikipedia pages and tries to craft the most successful, most reliable narrative. Yeah.
Then own me on it. Like, if I'm so wrong on all these things, then own me on it. Like, I smacked the fuck out of Norm Dickstein when we had our conversation. Then own me on it, bro.
It's cool Adam interviewed Clavicular and mocked his ass. Aren't these people literally living off of you? Yes. I have a large audience. And I understand that when you have a large audience, there can be people that either are antagonistic towards your position and try to like farm hatred off of whatever you say by lying about your positions over and over again. Or they could actually be...
Who's lying about your positions? You can't just say they're lying about my positions and then go, it's out of context, 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 over and over and over and over again.
Supportive. They could actually try and understand what my position is and maybe...
Your positions are indecipherable, bro. You mask on depending on who you're talking to in a ton of different places. Tons of people have made huge videos analyze your political positions. You have none. There's a reason why you're too scared to confront anybody about them. Or he does, but he has to lie about them. And when I say Hasan lies about his positions, we know this because we've seen videos where he says he lies about his positions in order to radicalize people more further to the left.
We agree with it. And so I have to do better at...
Also, when he says I'm spite-based, there are people that Hasan literally hates and has said that he'll never platform. The Bad Empanada person is a great example of it. But then when they're against me, now all of a sudden they're making stops on his stream. And now that they're not attacking me anymore, but they're being critical of Hasan, now they're persona non grata again. And Hasan's, we don't do anything with Bad Empanada. He was shitting on the squirrel girl on Twitter a week ago because she was tweeting stuff critical of Hasan.
I have to do better at, supporting other content creators that are in this ecosystem that aren't shitheads because what my position is and maybe agree with it. And so I have to do better at, supporting other content creators that are in this ecosystem that aren't shitheads.
Oh, hard one. Because Hasan doesn't want to support anybody with any level of clout that's less than his. This is why when I got banned from Twitch, like the politics scene on Twitch basically fucking died. Vosh won't support anybody. And Hasan absolutely will never share clout with anybody. I was the only person who would do smaller panels or talk to smaller creators. Like even for Hasan's orbiters, they're true orbiters. They never make contact with the planet. He doesn't do content with Frogan or with Denims or with Caseytron or with Mike from PA. I think he's had Mike from PA on like twice maybe for like a 30-minute call. Not even. But Hasan won't share clout with anybody.
Because I realized that, let's be real, For a lot of these dudes, it's about who they are orbiting. Like it's not about politics that much. It's more so about clout. Let's be real. And
the projection, bro.
I will
There's
say
so much destiny clout, bro. Like what you can monkey branch once you're in with destiny. Who's next? Obama, Gandhi, the ghost of Einstein.
the only reason why a lot of Destiny's community fell apart is directly because they did start having political disagreements that were born out of like Hasan derangement syndrome, and also.
Oh, I thought it was because a girl in her hoe phase was in denial about it and decided to have her, wealthy daddy baby her through a lawsuit at the urging of her insane fucking fellow crazy white woman friend. But maybe it was just political disagreements. True.
That much. It's more so about clout. Let's be real. And I will say the only reason why a lot of Destiny's community fell apart is directly because they did start having political disagreements that were born out of like Hasan derangement syndrome, and also Destiny being ruthless to a lot of the people that were in his immediate vicinity. A lot of content creators that he like f***ed over.
I have built so many careers, maybe more than any other individual politics streamer easily. I don't know, for Twitch people maybe, because like the awesome streamers would help each other. There are so many people that I put on the map that I supported in like a variety of ways. What a crazy statement to make. Hasan included, by the way.
I've had Torres tweet against you way beyond simple clout chasing. What do you mean? It definitely became a much larger problem though after October 7, because Israel is basically the only country with like country level power that will also engage in this kind of like serial harassment, doxing, and mass deplatforming initiative. So they basically fucking join forces in this like.
No one is going after you like that, bro. The only person who cares about you is Dan, because Dan doesn't give a fuck about politics. He just personally hates Hasan. Nobody's trying to deplatform Hasan because Hasan is not a threat to anybody. This is why Hasan will never get banned from Twitch, will never get banned from YouTube, will never be demonetized from any of these places. Hasan is not a threat. If anything, you're controlled opposition. Nobody's scared of you. Nobody cares about you. There's a reason why nobody on Fox News or Donald Trump, nobody's tweeting about you. Nobody gives a fuck about anything you do. You're controlled opposition. Everybody on the right loves that people like you exist on the left. They view you as a net positive because they know that you people have no desire for political power, and all you'll do is constantly hamper the left in every single thing they do. And occasionally, when they need to throw a bone to their own audience, they can spotlight some crazy retarded shit that you do and then try to pretend that all Democrats believe that. Like, that's it.
Perfect. In this perfect unity. Also, Israel, not exactly known for being anti-Israel either. Israel also known for working with Nazis. So it was a perfectly harmonious relationship. Yeah, this person is also one of...
Technically, that would have been the issue. That would have been pre-Israel, not Israel itself. If you're referring to the pre-IDF forces, that it's okay.
Of like Destiny's orbiters, but I actually kind of like what he's been doing as of late. I don't know why he blocked me. He used to hate my ass too. I'm pretty sure he's like a Destiny orbiter. He's one of those like...
How do you know that? This is the Scrub King, right? How the fuck, how deep into my lore do you have to be to even know that? What the fuck? What? To know that Cameron was the Scrub King? It was a guy who does... Jesus Christ. He sees me everywhere.
Nazis. So it was a perfectly harmonious relationship. Yeah, this person is also one of like Destiny's orbiters, but I actually kind of like what he's been doing as of late. I don't know why he blocked me. He used to hate my ass too. I'm pretty sure he's like a Destiny orbiter. He's one of those like super lived up guys, but I do appreciate his takes against the Trump administration, including defending AOC. Have you ever seen the New York Times quote Trump word for word like this before? The double standard is insufferable. It's perfectly correct. This is an absolutely correct statement. Adam Wren did this on purpose. I think this is such a, I think this is a, this is an editorial decision. Make no mistake. What they're doing, what Adam Wren is doing here at the New York Times is an editorial decision. Journalists will always clean up quotes. They don't put the ahs and ums in there. They always clean up quotes. And they do it for Trump all the time. They did it for Joe Brandon all the time as well. They did this because they don't really the AOC, I assume. They did it. Is an absolutely...
It would depend on what came before or after this. If they're trying to make the point that she stumbled here, then of course they're not going to truncate the quote. They're going to, or I don't know if truncate is appropriate here. They're not going to clean up or edit the quote down. They're going to leave in the uhs and ums because they're trying to make a point that she stumbled on an answer. I don't know what came before or after though, because it's just a fucking picture.
Charlie Kirk! Stop it! Get him out! Yeah, he's in art now. I think it's... Yeah, no, wait, no, he's like bottom main-ish. Could be in the T hallway. Oh! Shit, Charlie Kirk! Stop it! Get him out!
No! No!
Jesus Christ!
Wait, I don't understand. Oh, is it like a spray or something that somebody... Okay.
when I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start an AI slop that would destroy the internet. A meme so massive that could destroy the other memes like Triple T, John Pork, King Von, or even P. Diddy.
I know Kirk remembered, Charlie. What about it?
I believe we did it.
Repeat that again, Charlie.
I believe we did it.
Epstein.
God, I hate that fucking movie.
President.
Oh no, don't fight with Lycan. That's a black hole of nothingness you're not prepared to go down, Hutch.
Now, I'm not defending the president, but I will say he hasn't defied a single court order yet. He hasn't. And there was the big freak out that he was going to run in 28. And I'm like, no, he's not going to run. That's not going to happen. And now, of course, he's not going to run.
What's your relationship with him like now?
I wouldn't, whatever. But my point, it's like, if I have something to say, it's not going to be, you know, in an insult. It's not going to be extreme things. When you have
Oh no. Do I care about this?
We are papering over.
Last week, comedian and political commentator Jon Stewart published an interview with Nobel Prize-winning economist Richard Thaler, where Stewart revealed that despite his nearly 30 years as a prominent commentator on American politics and policy, he has no idea what economics actually is. Stewart ostensibly brought Thaler on his show to explain what the field of behavioral economics is, but as Stewart's misrepresentations and misunderstandings piled up, Thaler quickly found himself in the position of defending and explaining basic economics, the kind of things many of us learned in introductory college classes. In one of the more egregious examples, Thaler began explaining how behavioral economics might influence laws or regulations to address climate change by pointing out that most economists, in accordance with standard economic theory, believe that the optimal response to excess carbon dioxide emissions is a carbon tax. Before his guest could get any further, Stewart laughed disbelievingly and argued, "May I suggest that that's incorrect?" adding that the minute you put a carbon tax on, people see their energy prices go up, and you will no longer be serving in office politically. Sure, but this is a politics question, I guess, not an economics one. This was a bizarre non sequitur, because while it's true that a carbon tax would be politically dicey, Stewart's concern about political risk is totally unresponsive to the question whether it's an economically optimal policy solution. Thaler tried to explain why economists like a carbon tax, but the moment he said that it helps people behave in a socially optimal way, Stewart interjected again, rejecting the premise, but that's not economics. Economics doesn't take into account what's best for society. He exclaimed, adding that the goal of economics in a capitalist system is to make the most amount of money for shareholders. So my point is, since when is economics about improving the human condition and not just making money for the companies that are extracting the fossil fuels from the earth? Oh boy, hold on. Oh boy.
We are...
I'll listen to like 3 minutes of this. I don't know if I'd be able to...
Concede.
Great. So let's take climate change as an example.
Great.
All economists, including this one, think that the first thing we should have done when we figured out there was climate change is impose a carbon tax.
Wait, most economists think that?
Yes.
May I suggest that that's incorrect?
You may, but I'm included in those.
Can I say why I think it's incorrect?
Yeah, sure.
So the minute you put a carbon tax on, people see their energy prices go up, and you will no longer be serving in office politically.
All right, then we're in agreement. What I'm saying is, if you're God or king, or president, and you could say, all right, what policy should we have? Then the correct policy is the one that sets the prices to give people the incentive to. So if we increase the cost of heating your home,
yes,
to reflect the externality, the cost you're imposing on other people,
yes,
then you'll have the correct incentives to put in solar or insulate or switch to a heat pump or whatever.
Right.
We run a poll of expert economists every couple of weeks at the University of Chicago, and there is one on that. And yeah, everybody says, yeah, that would be the ideal policy.
So they're saying a carbon tax would be the thing to solve the climate crisis because rather than changing the behavior, you have to make using fossil fuels, which are the driver of climate change, so much more expensive that it changes people's behaviors because they won't change behavior on their own. Is that standard economics or is that behavioral economics?
That's the most fundamental. I feel like that's the most fundamental driver of every economic thing in the universe. People respond predictably to economic incentives, like the most basic fundamental thing underlying any possible thing. Given two equivalent products, all else equal, one is more expensive than the other. What will people choose? The cheaper one. Like
that's standard economics.
That's standard.
That's standard.
Feels behavioral, but that's standard.
No, because
oh God, I don't understand how you can do political commentary so much and not know just the basics, like the basics of like psychology or political science or economics or just like really, really, really basic, like high school level things.
It's standard because it's just changed the price. And then the alternative is we say you're not allowed to have, we can't have cars that get less than such and such gas mileage.
Right. Which we've done.
We have, right. So we have lots of regulations.
Okay.
We essentially don't have a carbon tax.
So the way we do it is, so standard economics, what they say is we have a series of either incentives or regulations. So it would sort of be.
But this is good, no? It's good that he's doing this in front of a camera. Well, yeah, but he's had strong opinions on a lot of economic policy and everything before. So to not even know like the basics of it. I mean, theoretically, if he's like copy pasting somebody else's opinion that he believes is respectable, like that's okay. But I don't know. That's kind of spooky.
A mix of is we have a series of either incentives or regulations. So it would sort of be a mix of subsidies and regulations. And that is how we will manage the energy market while also keeping an eye on trying to reduce emissions. And that's how economists would.
Isn't all economics behavioral? What's the difference? True. Actually, I don't actually know. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to think. What does behavioral economics study? I feel like behavioral economics, doesn't it try to study things that aren't like, that maybe you wouldn't predict just through like pure ultra, like economics market things? Like people might value a thing in a way that would be difficult to account for economically. So like, let's say there are two, so what I just said all else equal, you can buy product A or product B, but B is cheaper than A. Well, you'd obviously buy B. But then let's say a bunch of people are buying A because A was made in a green factory. Oh, well, people are making a different choice. They're valuing it differently. I feel like behavioral economics is studying like those types of like psychological factors that basically change the way that people value things. It's not just like a strict like dollar amount.
Design a program.
I don't know why. Let's just look it up. Behavioral economics. Wikipedia. Is a study of the psychological factors involved in decisions on individuals, institutions, and how these decisions deviate from those implied by traditional economic theory. I think my answer is, yeah. Concerned with the bounds of rationality of economic agents. Behavioral models typically integrate insights from psychology, neuroscience, and microeconomic theory. Oh, also, I think I think when you talk about things like loss aversion and stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah. Like these are, like if... So like, if people were computers, machines, well, maybe actually not even technically, but let's say that I were to offer you, let's say we're to offer you a bet. Let's say that your net worth is $100, or let's say that your net worth was $100,000. And I say that I can either multiply your money by 1,000, so you'll have $1 billion, whatever the fuck that is, I don't know. You'll have $1 million, $1 billion, whatever. And if I flip a coin, there's like a 50% chance of that happening, or I can zero out your money and put you massively in debt. Hold on, I'm not using a correct example. Wait, I just had a huge fucking brain ejection. Scratch everything that I just said. If we could flip a coin and you would either be given $10 million on a heads, or you would like lose everything on a tails, even if the expected value of that coin flip was like massively positive because you're worth less than $5 million, people have a fear of loss. And there might even be like a rational way to justify it. So they wouldn't take a 50-50 coin flip to get $10 million or they were going to lose everything just because that loss aversion is so strong. But there might be ways to account for that. I don't know if this would strictly be behavioral econ, but there might be ways to account for that because like, well, let's say that you're worth $1 million and you could flip that coin. Going from $1 million to 10 million net worth is actually a lot less significant than going from 1 million to 0. So maybe there's like a way to account for like the difference in utility for the marginal utility of the next dollar earned or some bullshit or whatever. I don't know. He defines it at 435. Oh, well, fuck me, I guess.
To solve it. So we've done that we subsidize solar, we subsidize electric vehicles, and we regulate the miles that they must get there, and they must have a catalytic converter. All that is what you would consider to be standard economic theory.
No. So we're almost there.
I am fucking this up.
You are not. You're not. So what economists would say is we don't need all those rules and regulations. Just set the price right.
But doesn't the market set the price? Isn't that free markets?
No.
Yes, but that's would be the point of carbon tax is to make the price higher than the market would ordinarily set it, right?
Oh, the carbon tax will automatically raise the price of a Hummer, of operating a Hummer, because it only gets 8 miles to the gallon compared to some EV. So we don't have to regulate. All we have to do is get the price right. That's standard economics.
And then the market will change.
But
isn't that just an intervention? How is that a market? That's just the government saying, if we set a price that is unreasonable, the market will behave.
It's just setting the price so that you have the incentive to act in a way that's best for society.
But that's not economics. Economics doesn't take into account what's best for society.
Yes, it does. Yes,
what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let me
hold on here.
Economists know about externalities. And now here's the point I want to make. We don't have carbon taxes. Why? Because, and you started with this, so you got to the answer right away. You got to this because people hate taxes. They hate high prices. So what do we have? We have lots of subsidies. We have no taxes.
Yes. Well, we have, that's not exactly, I mean, we have gas taxes. Like if you go to California, it's very different than buying gas in New York.
Correct.
It's very different than buying gas in Minnesota. Or,
That's right.
All
But even in high gasoline tax states, the taxes on emissions are still way too low compared to what they should be.
Compared to what they should be if our goal is to reduce carbon emissions.
Right.
But that's not the goal of economics. The goal of economics in a capitalist system is to make the most amount of money for your shareholder. So my point is,
he's talking about fiduciary responsibility of like a board, I guess. I mean, this guy, if he's a Nobel laureate, he's going to know way more than me about economics. I don't know if I would necessarily say like economics is trying to make society better, but like an economist is probably recommending a policy that he thinks will make things better, because the whole point of an intervention is that you think there's some, if you're talking about an external thing, when he says externality, there are some things that aren't captured or reflected in the price of a given thing. And people might be incentivized to buy a thing, and there might be external harm that's done, but it's not captured in the price of the actual thing itself. So if you find a way to tax that external effect, then it can be reflected in the price. So like if it costs $5 to make a shirt with a Chinese child slave or whatever, or it costs $10 to make a shirt from Walmart, which is probably coming from the same place, sorry. $10 to make an American non-slave shirt or whatever. People will buy the $5 shirt because it's cheaper than the $10 shirt. But if you put like a $15 slave tax, and now you've got the $5 shirt is now a $20 shirt, and now the American-made non-slave shirt is a $10 shirt, well, now you found a way to account for that external negative effect. If you assume that slavery is a negative effect on society, well, now that you've captured that in a market way, now when consumers are shopping for things, they'll be more likely to buy the non-slave produced shirt or whatever.
Since when is economics about improving the human condition and not just making money for the companies that are extracting the fossil fuels from the earth? Isn't that everything else is interventionist?
Okay, so I did not anticipate.
Oh, shit, fuck. Somebody in YouTube just said, this guy is not very good at explaining the basics. I think he's about to say what I was just going to say, though. I think that this guy probably assumed that, like, Jon Stewart would know, like, what an externality is, or wouldn't make a statement like, economics isn't about making society better. It's about returning money to shareholders. That's, like, for somebody to make a statement like that, you have to be fairly either ideologically captured or just very uninformed about just the broad field of economics, I think.
That, everything else is interventionist.
Okay, so I did not anticipate that my role here was going to be as the defender of neoclassical economics, but here I am.
Oh, we're here, baby.
I am here.
All
and,
right.
You know, my economist friends will be proud that I'm defending them.
All right.
So look, there's an economist named Arthur Pigou.
Sorry, somebody said externalities don't have to be bad. True. What I'm thinking of more particularly would be called a negative externality. Sure, true.
Oh, Pagoo's work is I don't miss an essay.
Yeah. So no, he died 100 years ago. But
that's what I meant.
Anyway, there are Pagoovian taxes. So in any economics textbook, it will say that if you're causing some harm, then the way to fix it is to charge you for the harm you're causing, so that you will decide just the right amount of harm.
Is Pagoovian familiar with the 2008 financial crisis? Because that is not what happens.
Yeah, but like that would be the point, right? The issue was all of this run up and all of this external harm wasn't being reflected in a market price anywhere, right? So everybody was incentivized at every single step to make a bad financial decision. Whether you're talking about a homeowner getting a home that they probably shouldn't have gotten, a bank writing a loan that they probably shouldn't have written, an investment firm buying a mortgage they probably shouldn't have bought, a person selling a CDO that they probably shouldn't have put together, an investor investing in a thing they probably shouldn't have invested in for returns that were probably higher than they should have been, right? Every single actor along the way was incentivized to make a decision that was short-term profitable, but maybe represented a bad thing altogether, but that wasn't being captured or reflected in any market price anywhere. And it needs to be reflected too, because you can't just make moral decisions in a market where people are competing with each other. Imagine you think there's going to be a massive global financial meltdown related to, mortgage-backed securities. And imagine you're the single bank in the neighborhood that doesn't sell those mortgages. Well, you're just going to go out of business. Your employees are going to starve, or you're going to have to fire them. They're going to go somewhere else because nobody's going to do business with you, because every customer is going to go to the next bank that's going to write them a more preferential loan, right? So you're kind of like forced to participate in these bad market activities because your competitors are going to do the same.
Okay, I'm not saying any economist thinks that we have these optimal policies. What I'm saying is
that's how it's supposed to work.
That's the way any economist basically would have advised, take any council of economic advisors before this one, because they always had real economists. They would all be saying something similar to, well, what we really should do is this. But then they would say, but it's true, boss, that people hate taxes. And if they're Republicans, they really hate taxes. But we all hate paying taxes. And so we'll subsidize EVs. We won't tax Hummers.
Okay, but the disconnect here is that the average person feels trolled by an incident like 2008, and they aren't being communicated to by academic economists, but by popular perceptions of economics. And the popular perception is literally that it's just how to make a lot of money for rich people, incidents and trolling included. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of like weird myths and dumb statements that underline that. Like I said before, like people are like K-shaped, 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 K-shaped. And like, I'm sure there's like a better, like there's a Steelman version of the K-shape argument that I'm just too lazy to read into. But like in any economic situation, rich people are always going to be postured to make more money than the poor people, because they're just going to have the capital. They're going to have the money to invest correctly. They're going to be able to they just have more options available. You're rich. You can do so many more things to capitalize on a good situation than poor people who might see their 401ks grow or something. But like, most of their money is in wages. They don't have a ton of investments. Like that's it. They're not, doing startup capital for businesses or expanding their own business for exciting new opportunities or markets or whatever bullshit. And then when economies crash, well, for laborers, you're kind of fucked because you just make money based on your wages. You usually don't have a huge net worth to draw from in times of economic crises to kind of like float your finances for a while. But if you're rich, you can draw down accounts if you need to, assuming it's not like super bad. Like you're going to be okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. And then you're going to be poised better for recovery. You can usually navigate those in more sophisticated ways by allocating money in different places or whatever the fuck you'd have to do. So like everything, rich people are always going to do better than poor people in times of gains and in times of crises. That's just always going to be the case. But for some reason, people don't think that's true. But I don't even know how you would communicate. I don't think you could ever change that. This would be like, imagine if you're kind of like an overweight dude and you've got like a ton of ultra shredded like gym friends, and they're like, bro, we're going to totally pig out this month. It's fucking, we're just going to eat a ton. It's dirty bulking month. We're going to eat a ton. You can join us if you want. It's going to be awesome. And then you've got a friend who weighs, 280 pounds. Like, yeah, fuck it. I'll come with you guys and we'll do it. And after like a month or two, this dude's gained like 20 or 30 pounds or whatever. He's fucking pigging out like crazy. That's not a big deal to all of his super weightlifter friends because they're going to burn it off because they know how to manage their diet. They probably have a lot more muscle to work with. They've got a higher capacity for work. They've got training schedules. But the guy that gained the 30 pounds is like, fucked. He's like, well, hold on. I was pigging out with you guys. It's like, you were, and you enjoyed it. Not as much as we enjoyed it though. And we can get back to normal very easily. And the run up to the global financial crisis, there were a lot of normal citizens that were in houses that they absolutely should have been in, making way more money than they should have, especially if they ever sold or traded up. And they got to enjoy that. They got to sit at the table with their weightlifter friends. All the finance bros and the rich people for a little bit and enjoy the food. But then when it came time to grind, when the global financial crisis came and fucked everybody over, well, the poor people are kind of left like, oh shit, now we're mega fucked because we don't know how to navigate these environments. We don't have the tools to be in these environments. I'm not blaming poor people for this, by the way, or people that got houses. Like, the people that got the houses that didn't belong in them should have gotten the houses. They were economically incentivized to as well. The one big criticism that I think is fair is when you're in some of these huge capital institutions and you have like public backstops for your behavior. I don't think it's fair that they can price that in. I think that's kind of bullshit, but that's a way more complicated argument.
We won't tax gas and we won't tax... So, and that all goes back to the mugs. That it's because we hate losing more than we like winning. So what we'll do is we'll have all these policies where we subsidize you to do the right thing as opposed to penalizing you via prices for doing the wrong thing.
Folks, do you love coffee, but you think the names are...
This guy's name is Jerusalem Demsas. Uh-oh. Okay. We don't need to bash Jon Stewart here.
Is it's not regressive. But the other piece to keep in mind too is it's not regressive. Most consumption in America is done by the wealthiest people. So the idea that it's somehow regressive is just wrong. And by the way,
perfect. A tax on wealthy people. That ought to get unanimous approval in the Hakeem Jeffries house.
What one would think, but again, these tariffs aren't making their way down to consumers anyway.
That's absolutely not true. They're making their way down way more than we thought they would. But okay. What was the DSP meme?
Necker.
I missed it.
Phil is the guy who literally rebroadcasts and steals my content daily. He outright knows what he's doing is illegal.
In my house. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to meet nowhere. Pull up in front of my house. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to pull up in front of my house. Pull up in front of the motherfucking precinct and let's bang out. Right down the block. You know where's that? You study my whole neighborhood. Or pull up in front of the Kmart and let's bang out and let's do it on camera. I throw my life away. You throw your life away right now. Right now. Let's do it for the camera. Right now. And if you win, I'll make sure I got like $70,000 in my pocket. If you bother me, you can take the money. Right now. I hate you, Nicholas. Stop.
Okay.
Nothing. I know that for those who have watched budget.
This is quiet. This video is ridiculously quiet. I hate all of you.
After budget.
I can. Okay.
I know that for those who have watched budget after budget, it is tempting to assume that we are engaging in the same dance as our predecessors. Let me assure you, nothing about this is typical.
Uh-oh.
That's why our solutions won't be either.
Uh-oh.
There are two paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable.
Oh, raise revenue or cut spending?
And the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers.
Fuck the middle class.
If we do not fix this structural imbalance and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy, this crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would
Austerity?
have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control.
What?
We would have to raise property taxes.
What's wrong with property taxes? Base revenue collector. Ooh, and you could target those high-value homes, those high-value property. Oh, we love property taxes here. Hell yeah. Why is that the last resort? He should have opened with that one.
Taxes. We would also be forced to raid our reserves.
Oh, that's not good.
To balance the budget as required by law, our preliminary budget takes the only path within our control, the second path. The options of the second path are the options of last resort. Options that we will only employ if there is no other means of arriving at a balanced budget.
Okay. watch that. That's later. This is later. A big live and learn thing. Wait, why do I have... Oh, this is a Hutch video about Hasan.
Whereas a century ago...
What is this?
Those who formed their ideas in the 1880s were not around in the 1920s.
Interesting. Are there any politicians...
Literally every local politics scene, property taxes is the third rail. I don't know why. Even tax positive people, everyone just unanimously despises property tax. It's because of fucking losers. It's just fuck them, okay? It's a good ass tax, all right? It's a good tax. It lets you go after people who have a fuck ton of money because they live in big ass fucking homes. It's targeted just so well. There's very little ways to kind of like avoid it or elude it. Like you can't like hide your money. It's like your properties are appraised at a certain value. You get fucking taxed at that value. Like boom. It's just such a good, and if you don't want to pay it, even if you make a lot of money, you don't have to. Just don't live in a huge fucking house. It's so easy to. It's such a good. People that have fucked their property taxes, I feel like they have so much trouble raising revenue. I feel like that's one of the big issues with California, with their whole weird fucking property tax cuck-out shit. I know Florida is thinking about getting rid of theirs, but I don't know. I think most economists agree too. I think not Miami, Chicago, UF. What's the name of the forum? Economist property tax. Wait, let me make sure we're in step here. Wait. It's like the UGM. What am I thinking of? Poll. Is it not a Chicago thing? Am I making the Chicago word up? Fuck. I don't care about LVT. I don't care about anybody bringing up LVT. That's people that bring up LVT are pedophiles. It's probably better, but we're so far off. People who bring up LVT are the equivalent of people who say every single thing in the entire economy should be socialism and we should have perfect. Like, I think LVT would maybe be a good idea. Everything I've read about it seems fine, but we're so far away from that fucking or not LVT, land value tax. No, it is LVT. Yes, yeah, IGM Chicago. Oh, that's what I was looking for. What's the difference? Go look it up. No, and it's all giving me these fucking land value tax bullshits. Ugh. Somebody will find it on this forum, okay?
Change is slow.
Or not on this forum, on the site or whatever. It polls economists to see what their broad opinions are on subjects.
So those of us who formed our ideas in the 1980s are going to be around for a while. Whereas a century ago, those who formed their ideas in the 1880s were not around in the 1920s.
Interesting. Are there any politicians that you think get it? Who do you look to with hope, in American politics today?
Why was I like this?
Well, I have trouble answering that question because I'm not sure what I'm hoping for. And I'm just going to present to you something I'm wrestling with. And I talk about this in a number of podcasts. I do not have my answer to this question, much less anybody else's. But here's something I work about. Is the right response should we get to the other side of Trumpism? Is the right response Merrick Garland 2.0, forgive and forget, move on, let the past be the past, let the future be the future? In which case, that points to one set of categories. Yeah. Or do we need some accountability, some punishment? Do we need backward-looking action? In which case, different kind of people. Let me be concrete. I don't think, if you want to turn the page, I don't think Gavin Newsom is your guy because I don't think he has any ideas about politics or the future of America. But if what you want is accountability and holding people who did wrong to account, Gavin Newsom looks like your guy because he really seems to have that mission and feel it very intensely. So I don't know who to hope for until I know what I'm hoping for, and I can't quite make up my mind what I'm hoping for.
So I guess another way to ask the question is if you were advising someone to run for president, a generic Democrat presumably, or a lonely centrist Republican to the extent they exist, what would you tell them?
Well, for my generic Democrat, I have a few things that I would tell them. Criminals belong in prison. The borders must be secure. If somebody makes a good living, they're doing a good thing for everybody and should keep most of their money. I just would go through those basic things that the left wing of the Democratic Party treats as controversial and that move the Democrats between 2014 and 2022 into a lot of places that just don't make any sense. In the middle of the 2010s, we'd achieved the lowest crime rates ever recorded in the history of American statistics. And that progress was undone. Partly the COVID, you can blame the COVID epidemic to some degree, but the problem started before COVID. Democrats, state and local governments began saying, you know what, we have just been too successful against crime. And we are going to undo the things that worked in the 80s and 90s. So in 2014, California passes a referendum that decriminalizes thefts under $950. People committed casual assaults on the streets were on a revolving door where they were let go to repeat the assaults against women and the elderly over and over again. How? And I just kept thinking, how hard is it to say criminals belong in prison? If you steal $900, you're a criminal, and you belong in prison. Maybe not for a long time, not for the rest of your life.
What fucking Democrat has ever said we shouldn't put criminals in prison? There was dumb shit in San Francisco a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean like around like, what was it, around COVID time? Okay, we don't think about that anymore. But this guy might also be, I don't have any strong with that. Okay. My DGG politics people want to do their monthly war thing, but I need to also... Or no, I'm waiting for that. It's in 10 minutes. I don't know if I have anything else before... How much am I going to get triggered? People said this was really triggering. This episode yesterday, the Live and Learn one. This Jose guy was giga-based. Okay. This is good messaging for winning over moderates.
The religious right, a political movement. That is, well, for 50 years, the religious right, a political movement. That is the perfect description for it. They convinced a lot of our fellow Christians that the most important issues were abortion and gay marriage. Two issues that aren't mentioned in the Bible, two issues that Jesus never talked about. Jesus in Matthew 25 tells us exactly how you and I and every one of our fellow believers, how we're going to be judged and how we're going to be saved. By feeding the hungry, by healing the sick, by welcoming the stranger. Nothing about going to church, nothing about voting Republican. It was all about how you treat other people. Don't. I've said before, don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe. And I think in our faith, we've got to get back to those fundamentals. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas, and when I was little, he told me that Christianity is a simple religion, not an easy religion. He would always clarify, but a simple religion because Jesus gave us two commandments: love God and love neighbor. And there was no exception to that second commandment. Love thy neighbor regardless of race or gender or sexual orientation or immigration status or religious affiliation. And it's why I have fought so hard for the separation of church and state in the state capitol in Texas, because
we've got the patriotic messaging kind of back, right? I don't think capturing the religious messaging is necessarily bad. It is kind of cringe and weird. Like if you were to describe Christianity and then ask a totally neutral third party, like an alien, like who seems to map onto this more, Democrats or Republicans? I seriously doubt any of them would ever pick Republicans. Jesus. What is this? Okay.